Hello, everyone. So there's this breaking news here. Federal government secures release of 100 school children abducted in Niger State. Bandits on 21st of November 2025 attacked the St. Mary's private Catholic primary and secondary school in the remote community of Papiri, abducting 315 people, 303 students, and 12 teachers. The federal government has reportedly secured the release of 100 school children abducted from St. Mary's private Catholic primary schools, primary and secondary school Papiri in Agwara, local government area of Niger State. The most painful part about this abduction is the fact that there are also students that are in nursery school. Yes, you heard me right, nursery school, that were also abducted. It's a boarding school that covers nursery, primary, secondary. There are some schools like that where you have children at a very, very tender age are sent it on to boarding school. These bandits, they had attacked the school around on November 21st, 2025, and they came in around 2 a.m. on motorbikes. The government stormed the school dormitories over a 3-hour period, abducting 315 people. 303 of them were students and 12 were teachers. Security forces and community hunters were deployed to comb nearby forests for the abductees. You can imagine how long it took for them to be able to raid this place and pack as many children as they can and travel, unopposed to wherever it was that they were going to. In the immediate aftermath, 50 people escaped within the first day and were reunited with their families. However, 265 individuals, including 253 children and all 12 teachers, remained in captivity. The federal government responded by imposing a 24-hour security cordon and launching area surveillance across parts of Kwara, Kebbi, and Niger states. Bola Tinubu cancelled planned international travel to address the crisis. Oh, Lord. Yes, he did call out, he did stop a travel after he was repeatedly called out. But did we really address the crisis, or it's just, same old, same old? Authorities also ordered the indefinite closure of all schools in Niger State and many federal institutions in high-risk regions, which is very, very critical because you don't want them, the way they went, they started with the school in Benikebi, in Magab, and they went on to the school, and you see, threats of attack of all other places. But one of the most critical things that has to be ensured is that the children do not lose out on education. So what can be done, even if they're at home, they can continue their lesson, just like what was done during COVID in terms of technology, in terms of giving them, they're going to school online and all of that. What we must never allow is for them to lose out on their education just because, of these terrorists. Last Monday, the National Security Advisor to Tinubu, Nuhu Ribadu, reassured parents that authorities of St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School, Papiri in Agwara, local government area, Niger State, that the abducted pupils are doing fine and will return soon. So what they're saying now is 100 of them have been brought back, but you still have 160 something that are still in captivity. He conveyed Tinubu's message of hope, noting that efforts to rescue the children were progressing and security deployment in the affected area had been intensified. God is with them and God is with us. Evil will never win, he said. They are going to come back. I give you that assurance, Ribadu said during the visit to the Catholic Bishop of Kotongora Diocese and the proprietor of the school, Bulus Dawa Yohana, as well as parents of the abducted children at St. Michael's Catholic Cathedral, Kotongora. So this is what Channels is reporting, that 100. Well, that's good news for 100, to be brought back in. We also hope that everything would also be done for the remaining ones to be brought back in. I just wonder how anxious parents will be right now, because everybody will be hoping that their children will be amongst the ones that were rescued. There is a parent who was said to have died out of heart attack. He had, I think, about 4 of his children were abducted. And it's really very sad when you hear all of those things. Those children are going to come back to meet a certain kind of heartbreak of knowing fully well that their father, having the knowledge that their father had passed on. Their father died without having to see their children. And the family is thrown into a new reality that is out there. And the question also remains, what is the Nigerian state doing to ensure not only that every abductee is brought back home, but that future abduction is prevented and not allowed to happen? Right now, we seem to be at the mercy of terrorists, where they do what they want to do. Then we go and beg them and negotiate with them. You can see they are not saying that they have rescued the children. What they're saying is that they secure the release of the children. Usually, most times you find out that it is through negotiation, ransom paying, and a lot of people have said that this ransom paying are some of the ways in which the terrorists have been able to arm themselves, use their money to arm themselves, and it does affect the nation. Let's just take a look if we can see, some of the statements that had come from citizens. We have Chief Ozo, who said, at Ozo Big One on Twitter, now known as X, who said Nigerian government are now paying terrorists. Adekule Oderin, they said, look at the timeline and connect the dots. Coup in Benin Republic. Coup was later declared as unsuccessful. Macron calls Tinubu, offers to help solve insecurity in the north. Tinubu sends airstrikes to Benin Republic. Nigeria aircraft returned to Benin, to Nigeria. Federal government declares release of 100 pupils in kidnappers. Then in Niger State, no arrests, no kidnappers were killed. And then Queen B says, I hope all the children will return to their families without anyone left behind. But can you imagine FG secures release like they are doing trade by barter with the terrorists? Sadly, this is the way, it feels like, we're negotiating, paying the terrorists, and that's giving the terrorists more inducement for them to continue to abduct and kidnap citizens. And it's just, but it's good news according to BMAX League. I say good news, but it shouldn't distract from the real issues. Children shouldn't be getting abducted in the first place. Until the government tackles the root causes, these rescues we keep repeating like a broken record. The phrasing of this statement unfortunately gives the impression that the government negotiated with the terrorists, and this is someone who on Twitter handle is known as Jimmy Not Carter at Nagbede 84. This is what he had to say. George Uwaifo on Twitter says, great, hope they get checked into hospital and counseled. How about the abductor? Because a lot of people are interested. What happened to the abductors? Do they go scot-free for them to go and abduct more later on? Or are they made to face the full wrath? Arrested and made to face the full wrath of the law? These are questions that Nigerians are asking. Dami O says, progress, yes. But the real question is why these children are being released in batches. Is it that the government is paying installments, or are parents being pressured to raise ransom piece by piece? Until every abducted school children is freed, the federal government cannot call this victory, not one. And absolutely, that's what she has said there really concludes where I stop on this video. Until everyone is returned back, there's no victory anywhere. And the sooner that is done, the better. Because every second that the children remain with the terrorists, they are being tortured mentally, psychologically, more every day that they remain. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.